John's out. Hey, we're live now.
Oh, yay!
Hey, look at that.
Hey,
So,
Dana.
hi, Jeffrey. How are you this evening?
I am yawning as always. Every show we get on air that's live, and that's all I do is yawn.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about because we were just talking about that. I do the exact same thing. Here comes one right now. I'm not even
Oh,
really
come
tired.
on!
See, I can't.
We need.
Yeah.
If you're watching live, let's turn it into a drinking game.
Yeah,
Every
every.
time I yawn,
Oh, and
have a
here's.
shot.
Yeah. And every time I try to avoid yawning, you can tell because I make a really ugly face, like I'm smelling something
Hmm.
really bad. I'm like, that's me yawning inside my mouth. And so you can count those two. Those are two shots if you catch me hiding a yawn.
I try so hard to hide it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't do it.
Hey, where's our thing? We gotta have some abrupt music to start this thing or something.
That would be in a different brand.
Oh, we don't have one of those for these? Well, screw it. We don't need one. I'll just make a little song. Be like, it's the Dana Show and the Jeffrey Show talking about things that we kind of know, and we're gonna show you how we figure it out, and probably not, so have a good night.
Oh my God, you need to record that.
Okay.
And then we'll upload it. And we can have Will make a little cartoon like thing to go with it.
Yeah, I can make cartoons still, remember?
Oh yes. Okay, so you have to make a little cartoon video. It can be like, Daria, but like Dana.
Okay. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. I've
The
never
Dana
tried.
Show. The Dana Show. It's cute. And now you have it on video so you can go back and listen to it so you know the song that you
Yeah.
just wrote.
We just, that's a jingle. I'm a jingler. I can jingle.
Hmm.
So,
Apparently. Who knew you could be the new theme songwriter?
yeah. And so there's that, well, I've been looking for a side hustle. So that's a, that's a good side hustle, maybe. Writing jingles. I have a great little Casio keyboard. I got it for the kids, but also for me because it looked awesome. And like I was inspired. I don't know if anybody out there watches Bob's Burgers, but
Somebody take a
this,
shot. Oh, all right. All right.
yay! Somebody took a shot. Where's the comments? I don't see any comments.
No, I'm saying, no, you said Bob's Burger. I was being Linda.
Oh, okay.
All
You do. Oh,
right.
so you do watch it? Okay, I was just really confused because I thought that I yawned or we
And
got
I
a comment
yawned.
about you.
So
That was just
we're
wow. All right.
you got to take a shot because I yawned. So
Yeah.
people are like
I
three
did.
shots in.
There
Are
we
you
go.
really drinking coffee?
No, that is water.
And you don't have an uncensored radio mug? And as I
Mm-mm.
have like four of them in the cabinet and I'm drinking out of a water bottle.
I don't. I do not. I no,
For shame on you.
no. I have.
I'll bring you one.
Ooh, I found a new stress toy. I'm gonna play with the squishy microphone thing that doesn't do anything because I can't use that microphone because it sounds like helicopters apparently.
Well, we just need to get you a new one. That one must just be defective. See if you can
Oh,
return it.
I'll try. I don't know. I've had
I
it for like
I,
months
I
now.
I have like 10 of them at my house. You can
Huh?
just have one of them. Well, so what happened was, I ordered a bunch because we were starting to film live at the house,
Yeah, yeah.
and it set up a space, and we were gonna build a studio in the attic. I got all the like soundproofing, to build a spot,
Yep.
and then we came down here for vacation,
Uh huh.
and I haven't made it back to New York all that much. I spend, some time down here a lot. So I just ordered mics for down here. And then every time I go up there, because things just got thrown up in the attic and I haven't used that space,
Oh, okay.
I didn't know where the mics were. So I just ordered more.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, yeah,
Well,
I
you
have
want
a
to see?
plethora.
Here, check this out. This is my bootleg soundproofing. It's the inside of a dog bed that I've got hanging on the doorknob. It's my high tech.
Classy.
Yeah. So
Classy.
I thought it would help with some of the echo.
Echo, echo.
Yeah. You know.
Echo one night.
So what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about what? We're going to talk about failure. How do you handle failure?
I don't know.
We,
It's something that has come up for me in the last week. I've had like a crazy turn of events.
yeah.
Where I'm going back to go forward, maybe. And it's revisiting a past I counted as a failure.
Okay.
I guess it really wasn't. And it's wild, right? And that's a hard thing for me. Failing was always a huge thing because I was
Uh
never
huh.
good enough. Nothing I did was right. Um, so I was always trying to prove myself. I always had to explain myself. Something like, I don't. Did you end up reading Jenny Petlin's book?
No.
This will be funny later. If you read it, like one of her things in that book was, you always have to go overboard and explain yourself because you want people to understand you,
Okay.
or you're always trying to defend yourself, and then she goes in this part where I'd much rather have somebody know my Taco Bell order than them order me flowers.
Uh huh.
And I'm like, oh, that's so important to me, right?
Right.
But in getting people to know those little things about you, so to me, like having any kind of failure is I can't handle it.
Uh oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just gotten so good at it that you know, I don't I don't have so much trouble with failure because at least there's a defined end to a thing. What I have the most trouble with is like with anxiety and like overthinking. I'm always like, is it gonna fail? How could it fail? What are the different ways it can fail? And
And
like
then you
if
still make the wrong choice.
wait, yeah, but the thing is once I do fail at something, I've already ruminated about it so much and had it going through my head so many times that it's almost like the failure or the end of it is like a relief. It's like, okay, well that's how I failed. Move on. Like
I
it's like
wish.
it's just like it's defined as like, okay, well I don't have to worry about that anymore. It happened. So I can it's okay. All done.
I need a shot of that because I'm like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let it go, right? I'm
Okay.
gonna punish myself until the end of time. And be
But
like, you fool, you fool, look at what you did. You
there's
did
a
that and everybody knows it. And
there's
everybody's looking at you and they're thinking, like I'm that important that people
okay.
care and they think about me and the fact that I failed at something.
All right, so mine's the same, except it just happens before the failure instead of after. I had the exact same stuff
Oh
go through
no,
my
the whole
head.
time too. The whole
Okay,
time I'm
okay,
I'm paranoid and like,
okay,
oh my god,
uh
like
huh,
but that drives me, that pushes me the whole time. You know what I mean? Like I can
okay,
turn that into something and use it to benefit me
okay.
during it. You know what I mean? Like that chaos. I figured out a way to feed off that somehow.
That's
Even to go on stage to do stand up, right?
huh.
Shot time.
Yeah, yep. Shop
I
top.
figured out a way to kind of harness that nervous, kind of crazy kinetic energy
Yeah,
to
yeah.
my benefit. Um, but the aftermath of everything, ugh, and the
Yeah.
overthinking, I lay in bed at night and I'll replay conversations and I'm like cringing, like, what is wrong with you? Why would you say that? You're an idiot. Oh my God. Like, oh, and did that person mean this? And they're looking at you like this. And oh my God. You know what I mean? To where I'm like sick to my stomach. And it's
I
like, well, you got to stop this. Like,
yeah.
what I'm telling myself, like, you're being nuts. Like, this isn't,
Mhm.
you're doing this to yourself, dude. Stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I try to think about like,
Oh,
yeah, I know. I just can't stop.
shot, 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 shot.
I try to think about like all the different ways to be positive, like trying to be like optimistic. Um, like, okay, well, this is gonna work. I've already ruminated about it enough. I know pretty much everything that can go wrong, so let's avoid those things, and it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then the problem I think I run into is I tend to worry more about like um, actually the my own shortcomings, like my own like faults, and I'm like, that's how I'm gonna mess it up. Like, you know how I have a
Yeah.
hard time paying attention
Hmm.
sometimes, or when I'm under stress, I don't handle it very well, and I can't keep my train of thought very well. That's how I'm gonna mess it up, and I can't not mess it up because I definitely do that all the time. And like, so I basically like just kind of rummage around in my head. I'm like, where are my faults? Where are my shortcomings? Where do I mess up? How is that going to ruin this? And so then I'll sit there and I'll think about it. I'm like, okay, well, I got to avoid my. Sometimes when I get stressed out, I procrastinate because I worry too much that I'm going to make the wrong choice, and I just don't end up making a choice, and I get way behind. So I'm going to avoid that by just making a choice right away. And then I'm like, oh, I made the wrong choice. Crap! Now I
Hmm.
got to fix that. It's like
Hmm.
there's all these booby traps that I have for myself, and like I think I'm avoiding them, but typically I'm not. I'm just it's just it happens in a different way than I expected, but along the same lines, and I'm just so used to always failing that like at least when I fail, I can just be like, ah, I did it. All right, so that's over with. I won't make those mistakes again, and I can try something different now. Like I don't know. I
I
kind of
don't.
look at failure like if I can walk away from a failure, learning something from it or
Yeah.
growing myself in some way, I don't really feel like it's such a failure because at least I know I'm better because of it. So, I mean,
Yeah, I think anytime you go through any experience, good, bad, whatever,
hmm
you have to kind of sit back and like, what was the lesson here, right? No matter
yeah,
what it is, there's always a lesson to learn.
hmm
And I think through all my ups and downs in life, I've tried to sit back and like, what was your role here?
yeah,
Were you, was I the bad guy? Was I, what did I do? What part did I play? And what was my role? And what could I have done better?
yeah,
And I think that's always the hardest thing to do is to really genuinely look at, even when you go into therapy. Because if you're not honest with the therapist, you're not going to fix anything.
oh
So if
no,
you go into the
yeah,
therapist with rose colored glasses and be like, well, this so and so did this, and so
hmm
did that, and so did this. You and I had this conversation off air.
yeah,
Uh, Nothing's going to change for you
right,
because at no point are you acknowledging your role in any of these relationships or failures or
oh yeah.
life problems.
I mean,
Like
one
if
of
you're not
the
willing to say, like, I was lazy, I didn't do this, I should have done
yeah,
this, I didn't do this, I
absolutely,
made these choices that got me here, nothing's
yeah.
going to
Like,
change.
we're gonna take a stroll through all our toxic traits and be like, hey, let's see what we've got going on here. Rummage through my
Yeah.
basket of garbage. Like like
I felt
it's
so much better though. That
yeah,
that conversation after that, I
yep,
gotta say, like, has had me on the upswing.
yeah. Well,
Thank you.
and then after like when you go to your therapist and you're like, let's I don't want to talk about things that are really bothering me. I want to talk about like what you see as the things you hate the most about me. That's one of the questions I
Oh,
like to ask my therapist, and she's always really honest with me, and I appreciate it because she understands my depth of sarcasm. So I'm like, what are the
thank you.
things you hate the most about me? What are the worst things about me? And she's always every single time she's like, you're always so self-deprecating. She's like, you gotta stop being so down on yourself all the time. She's like, it's the worst. I hate sitting here listening to you talk about how you're not good at anything and how you can't do anything for yourself and how you're not gonna ever succeed and how you're not gonna get ahead. And she's like, you're one of the smartest people I ever talked to and you're better than that and you're not a piece of crap. And like, I don't know who's been filling your head with all these criticisms like your personality, but you're great. And I'm
You're like,
like,
do you want a list?
yeah. It's like I have one or two things wrong with me. Like, I think probably one my I think probably my most detrimental trait. I think the thing that causes me to fail the most is that I don't pay any attention to.
Hey,
Hello,
dear
lady.
bro.
I don't pay any attention to myself in terms of how important my needs are in anything, like at work or
Yeah.
in a relationship or with my kids. Like I'm always just like, please, I have to be the people pleaser. Like they will find value in
Mm-hmm.
me if I can please them. So I don't spend any time thinking about myself at all. And by the time I get done, it's like, yeah, this person got everything out of me, and now I need to recharge, but I can't. I don't have the time alone to myself to think about myself and actually spend some time alone with myself and think about like what matters to me now. Like I just don't have that, and it's hard for me to try to develop it. Like I have to kind of leave the whole. Yeah, I'm sure your therapist has probably said this to you before. Like I know you don't feel happy right now, but if you just act happy, fake it till you make it, then eventually you'll just start being happy,
No,
right?
I told the therapist, I'm like, I don't know what happy is.
Right?
I don't,
Oh,
I'm like, I grew up watching, I'm like, I really realized through the dissolution of my marriage that fighting meant love. If you fought with somebody,
yeah.
or, argued, whatever, I don't mean like fisticuffs or anything, but, you got into just or whatever, and they stayed. That meant love.
Oh,
That's kind of what I saw, right? That all my aunt, not all of them, but a lot of the people around me, everybody kind of argued, or you know what I mean? They weren't in happy, positive relationships, and they all stayed together. So it's like, oh, you put up with each other's shit. That's love, right? Not you take care of each other, not that you support each other.
oh yeah. Look at this one. That's a good one. Yeah, Vera. All right. So are you easy to please or used to putting your needs last? Well, I've been. Uh, here, the worst thing about me with my needs is I do put them last, and I almost am ashamed to address my needs. So sometimes like I will be sneaky and do little things for myself like without telling anybody because I feel guilty or ashamed that I'm taking time to do something for myself. Like I will like I'll one time I bought ice cream and it actually ended up going bad. It got freezer burned. I really wanted coffee ice cream just for myself. And I went to Reese's and I got this thing of soft serve ice cream in a big tub. And I brought it home and I put it out in the garage freezer. I'm like, "Oh, that's just for me." And I hid a spoon out there. And then I went back to get it and somebody left the freezer door open a little bit and stuff kind of thawed and then it refroze and the ice cream was ruined. And
And who
like
was that somebody?
oh, my kids. They go in there to get popsicles and stuff out, and they just don't shut the door all the way. It
And I
happens all the
love that
time.
you like left a spoon out there
Yeah,
and you had the discipline not to eat it all in one sitting. I
yeah.
don't
No,
understand
this
that.
was a big one. This was like half a gallon. Like
I don't care.
I know.
And
Yeah, I know.
I don't
But
know that I could eat a half a gallon of ice cream, but
I've done it, and
like
it
in one
gives
sitting.
it gives you the rumble tummy, man. Oh boy, they're those stabby ones, the kind of cramps that feel like a knife is going through your intestine.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm lactose, so I can't. I have a hard.
I think most people are lactose intolerant, but like, yeah, it's what do you? I don't know. Like, I put my needs so far last. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like I have to be sneaky to address my needs because it's like I'm ashamed to think about myself. It's hard for me to bring up like when I talk about like things that I want or need or something that I feel isn't like
What do you want, Tina?
well anything. It could just be anything. Like say I'm going out to dinner with somebody and I don't want to eat somewhere and I feel guilty being like, oh yeah, I don't really want to eat that. Or like if somebody's like, hey, why don't I'll get this
Yeah.
and then you get this and then we'll share it. And like in my head I'm like, I don't want to share it. I want my own food. But I'll do it because I just don't want to let you down kind of thing. Like it's like stuff like that. Like it's just little things where I feel awkward just
Yeah.
speaking up for
Yes. Right.
myself.
Because you don't want to upset somebody that's gonna rock the boat. And
Yep.
it's like, bitch, have you seen the size of me? I don't want to share shit.
Yeah, I mean, what about you? What's some of this like? Do you think you're just easy to please, or are you somebody who just puts your needs last? I think you're somebody that puts your needs last.
I don't even know what my needs are anymore, right? Like, so for me at this point in my life, it's like editing a show, I guess
Yeah,
makes me happy, right? Like, I
yeah,
don't, and that was something too in therapy that I'm like, I don't know who I am. I don't
right.
even know what I like. She's like, well, what's your favorite color? And I'm like, I don't know. Blue, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm like, but my mother painted my room blue as a kid. So is it because she painted the room blue or is it because I like blue? I don't know.
yeah,
I'm like, I really don't know who I am. I've spent 10 years being somebody's significant other and trying to make them happy. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
And it had nothing to do, like, it wasn't his fault. You know what I mean? Like,
You know, it's
it was
absolutely our
me.
fault. It's our own fault for not talking over
Yes.
ourselves. It's
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So
But
I
then I
think,
have other people, they're like, oh my God, you're really selfish. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm starting to be because I
yeah.
really just don't give a fuck
See,
anymore what anybody else wants.
I feel like you did something interesting, and it's almost like it's like when like a pipe gets jammed up, and then all of a sudden something pushes that
Yeah.
blockage through, and you're just like, ah, then everything just kind of comes out at once. Like you're just like, and then all right, okay, I feel better now. I got that backed up needs met thing. Then now I can relax for a minute and slow down. Where
Well, I
it's
went
like,
a little too far, right? Well, I always said, like, when everything was over, I was going to take off. I was getting out of town. I didn't, and I realized something, though, after my life imploded.
what's that?
There are no rules.
There's not. Look
You
at that.
can
There's
do
another good one.
whatever you want to do, and you can, you don't have to follow anybody. If you want to be in a relationship with two different people, and those two other people are okay with it,
Yeah.
and that's an adult decision that you made, go ahead, because it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Whatever. Yeah.
If you want to pick up and move, and you know what I mean, I don't have to answer to anybody else. How I live my life, what I do, like, it's none of anybody else's business. The day I walked away from
Well,
my family
one of
was
the
very
most
free.
one of the most freeing things that I've come to realize is that nobody gives a shit what you do. Like really, how much like you think everybody's like worried about like look at this shit that Dana's doing. Look, what did he say? Where did he go? Or what did this person say about you? It's like nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like the amount of attention that somebody spends thinking about me throughout the day
Well,
might be 5 minutes. Like,
well,
but like nobody cares. Like who cares what I do? Like and that's like almost freeing. It's like I'm like I nobody cares what I do. Nobody really does care what I do. Like that's kind of nice. Man,
I don't know that that's true, but I understand what you mean.
I don't know. I think for the most part, people like I've got like 300 something Facebook friends. Like I don't think I think most of them think about me when I post something or when like maybe once a week or something for a minute, and then the rest of the time they've got their own stuff going on. They're not thinking about me. Whatever. There's not all these people thinking about me. They don't
Oh,
care.
Dana, I think about you every night when I go to
You do?
bed. Oh,
Well, that's
this is
flattering.
a horrible, cringeworthy joke.
Why is it? Nah, that's fine. We're all adults here.
Uh,
We have parts of our body that do stuff. Some of those parts are
mm.
brains. Some parts of those are membranes. You know, there's stuff going on. That's fine.
Oh, I love it.
So, yeah, we put our needs last, or we neglect them altogether, and then look what that does. That just leaves a big pile of unhappiness. And then, like you're saying, like sometimes you don't even feel happy. Like one of the things that I noticed is like I tried to go back and I tried to kind of get myself back into doing things that I know I used to really enjoy, like making art and doing archery and exercising and stuff. And so I started just forcing myself to do these things, whether I enjoyed it or not. And I'm just sitting here like numbly doing things that I used to like. I'm like, I'm still waiting for myself to like this again. Like, when is that gonna start? Like,
Yeah.
I used to like doing this, and it's like now it's just like I get no joy from doing anything. It's like I think that's called depression.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Medication can help.
Yeah, I don't know. The exercise is helping more than anything. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the treadmill really helps to keep my bamboo sheets from wrinkling.
you know,
Ever since I got sick in June, it threw me off, right? Like, if something comes and like throws a wrench in it just did a number on me.
hmm
I have not been able to get back into a groove since. And yeah, I know. I feel like, like I used to love watching movies or whatever. Now I can't sit through a movie. I'm like on my phone, I'm pausing the movie, I gotta check this, I gotta do that, I gotta get up. I cannot sit through a movie.
Yeah. I catch myself procrastinating about being alone. You know, one of the things that I was
Oh, it's
always
so
worried about,
nice.
I used to have this like severe attachment anxiety, like of I was so worried about like, oh, it sounds so lonely not having somebody in your life and like just not having family or anybody around and like it just seems like it's such a meaningless existence. And now it's like sometimes I get like a day to myself where I'm just all alone and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I'm all alone. And I think that I'm pretty awesome. And I get to spend time with me. And that's awesome. Like, and I'll actually, like, catch myself on. I'll just, like, guilt free watch, like, a couple episodes of Star Trek. And I'm like, I don't care if nobody thinks this is cool. I love Star Trek and I'm going to watch it with me because this is the best. And it feels good. Like sometimes I'm just like I took the dog for a walk yesterday. Like I ended up going on like this 2.5 hour walk for like forever. Now that I'm smell a bunch of stuff and I was just wandering around. I'm like I went for a walk with an awesome person. And that person was me. Damn it. Like, like I was like just like a friggin' like motivational poster with a kitten hanging from a tree. I didn't care. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean that's why, the kids go to bed and I stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
That's the only time I get,
Yeah.
being a single parent.
Yeah.
That's it. In the last year, I think I've probably spent 3 hours during the day alone in the house without children.
What a delight. That must be a real treat.
So, the only time I do get alone is when they're in bed. So that's why, I'll take the lack of sleep
Hmm.
because that's the only time I have to unwind. If I want to watch something, if I need to catch up on work, if, whatever, to clean, to do whatever I need, to read a book. Um, that's it, and I get it because my mother was like that. The woman was always exhausted, could never get up in the morning because she'd be up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, sitting in the kitchen eating her cheesy poofs,
Yeah.
watching a TV. She never sat in the living room though. I never understood that. Like you'd come
Huh.
downstairs in the middle of the night to get a drink or something. There she was in a kitchen chair, with a hard wooden chair at the shitty kitchen chairs, at the
Yeah.
little 13-inch color TV with a turndials,
Uh huh.
eating her cheesy poofs, watching whatever, look at whatever she would. Why would you go in the living room? There's nobody downstairs, woman. But you, what? Like, do you feel like you don't deserve sitting on the
I
couch?
don't know. That sounds
She
terrible.
never would. Yeah, always in the kitchen. But we
Yeah.
didn't eat in the living room, so maybe that's because she wanted her cheesy
Oh.
poofs, and then she'd have her Terrell chips.
Yeah. She
Always
can't have. She
her
can't have
Terrell,
that. No. No
yeah,
crumbs in the
ice cream.
couch.
Yeah. Oh God, no, 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 no,
Mm-mm. That's why.
no.
Well, that
Nope.
explains
Terrell
that
chips.
mystery.
Yeah. Maybe, but I mean, she didn't eat the whole time she was there. Otherwise, she would have been like 400 pounds
Yeah. I don't know.
forever
So,
in that kitchen.
what about failure with like kids? Like, do you like I fail over and over again.
Every day.
Like I'm sure you've got your own stories, but like one of mine is like just getting my kids to think about each other's feelings and to stop antagonizing each other. Like like just like you can see that what you're doing is making the other one mad and you guys have to be together every day. Why do you want it to be a fight all the time? Wouldn't you rather have fun instead? Like let's talk to each other like we have feelings and stop making him mad. And then after a while, he'll stop making you mad and you can enjoy being around each other. It's like I felt like I've had this conversation over and over again. Like, stop hitting him, stop messing with him, stop hitting him when he's messing with you. Come talk to me instead of hitting him when he's messing with you. Like, I'm starting to go blind to it now, like a deaf and blind. It's like I failed. I failed at being able to keep my kids from fighting with each other. They just
Yeah,
constantly.
but do you want them to come to you to solve all their problems, or you want them to just beat the shit out of each other and get
No,
over it by themselves?
no. I would like them to try to talk to each other about their problems, and if they've exhausted the ability to negotiate, to come to me for some help. Like, I
They're
would
not going
like
to do
it.
that.
I know they're not, and it's insane. It makes me crazy. It's crazy making.
Yeah, but you're an only kid, though. That's you know what I mean? Like you're being an only child.
I just don't get it.
You, I mean, you know what I mean? Having two younger brothers, like those two were always like, but I my mother would get in between us, but I was 6 years older
Yeah, you could
than
really
my.
beat the crap out of them, huh?
I mean, I didn't though, but it would be like they one took my Game Boy and traded it at school
Oh, dude,
to a kid, and I was pissed, right? And they didn't even get in trouble, so of course I'm gonna chase him,
that's awesome. You
like
had a Game Boy for a while. I always wanted a
yeah,
Game Boy.
yeah. Well, I bought it with my own money off of one of my friends. You know what I mean? It was secondhand, it was old, whatever. But I bought that with my own money, and like he stole it essentially, traded it, and there was no consequence for him. So as
Okay.
I'm chasing him through the house, I'm the problem. That was kind of always the situation. And then there was never a consequence for them. And
Yeah,
that happened quite a bit.
that would be murder.
And, and it's like, no, I should get, like, I don't know. It was just very, and I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm seeing it now dynamic with my kids, right?
Hmm.
Because the 11-year-old and the 6-year-old, they'll like the 11-year-old is sitting there arguing with the 6-year-old. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, he's 6. He's like, well, he he farted at me.
Of course he did. He's 6.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that affected you how?
Right.
Like, I just can't. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
or
like,
I'm in the bathroom and they're banging on the bathroom door. Like, he looked at me.
uh huh.
He threw something. And like, figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, and the one that's more kind of aggressive, I'm like, I just one time kind of take care of business. Figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to know. Be brothers. Take care of business.
Yeah. It's like by the time they actually seem to come to me for help is like when somebody has already had the crap kicked out of them. One or the
Oh, see,
other will
they
be
don't even get.
sobbing. One or the other will be sobbing, saying, "Hey, hit me in the face," or whatever. I'm like, okay, that kid didn't have. It was very wrong for you to be hit in the face for whatever, but also bear in mind that you apparently were doing something that got that person so angry that they hit you in the face because they couldn't think of anything else to do. So, I mean,
What do you want me to say? Right,
right?
right, right. And that's the other thing, right? The 11-year-old will come out and be like, Tyler punched me. Oh, where
Uh
did
huh.
he hit me on the arm like this? Oh,
Why?
yeah? Okay, right, right.
Right.
And I'm like, I've already told him, I'm like, don't come out here and tell me what somebody did to you. First, you started with what you did. Ooh,
Yep.
ooh, ooh. Oh, well, I don't. If you're not going to come out here and tell me what you did, start with what you did, I don't want to hear nothing at all.
Mhm.
Because I want accountability, because we got an accountability problem in this place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're not doing it. I'm like, you start with what you did.
Yeah, I mean, I try to
It's a
talk to my
problem.
kids about how they feel, and you have the same problem. Like, they don't care how they feel. Like, I sit down, and it seems like when I sit the kids down on the couch and we try to talk about how we feel and what led up
Oh
to the
no, no,
garbage
no.
event, like as soon as I say, how did you feel? Like, what feeling did you have? Like, you got before you got upset. what did you feel like before that happened? Like, what was going on? Like, where was your head? Like, what were you thinking about before the fight
Shotgun.
actually took place? And it's like, yeah, they just shut down. They're just like, they just
Yep.
look down and they're like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about feelings. Feelings aren't. I don't like it. Like, why? Is it painful to be like, yeah, no, I was feeling sad because I wanted my brother to play with me and he never feels like he plays with me, so I was sad, and then I felt like that wasn't fair and that made me mad. It's like that's not like a college level conversation. That is a conversation that I feel like a 10-year-old should be able to have.
Well, and then I've got the 6-year-old, right? Who'll be like, "It's okay to talk about your feelings. Are you sad?"
Oh God, that sounds lovely, right?
Well, because he's emulating me, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, it's okay, Gabe. Like, talk about your feelings or whatever. You know, like one day, I don't know, the two older ones were like, it was just a horrible day, right? So I was so overwhelmed. Like, I walked into my bedroom and I just started
Mm-hmm.
crying.
Yep.
Like, I just couldn't take any more. And Gabe walked in and he's like, and I had said something to him like the day before. He's like, "Daddy, it's okay to cry." He's like, "Are you sad? Do you want to talk about your feeling?" And I'm like, which of course just made me cry harder.
Oh, you're so
I
smart.
like,
Yeah.
like, oh my god, you listen. Like, what do you want to
Look,
say? Like, thank you, God. Like,
look,
oh my
yeah, look at you caring about me. Nobody's supposed to care about me. This feels awkward.
god. I don't understand. Why do you want to talk about feelings? I don't want to talk about feelings right now. I'm with the others too.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
wild. It's so wild. Like the three of them are so different.
My kids though, like, if they see me being sad, they just like avoid me. Like they don't want to talk to me. They're like if they see, if I like sometimes like I'll lose it. I mean I'm human. I'll run into the living room and be like, that's it. I can't stand listening to you guys scream anymore. I don't feel like I'm doing a good job as a parent because you guys can never seem to get along, and it makes me really freaking sad listening to you guys fight all the time, and it makes it so that I can't feel happy. You guys always fighting and screaming, it makes me sad. And I just can't listen to it right now. Please stop. And I'll like walk into the kitchen and I'll start making dinner again or something. And I'll just be actively sad. Like, not yelling at anybody. Nobody got in trouble. I'm just like, I am sad. Like, just please, I don't want any of this. And I'm at my wit's end. Just being
Hmm.
sad. And the kids will just be like, come on, let's go upstairs. Like, they're just like, man, how inconvenient for you to talk about being sad. I'm going to go upstairs. We're going to just not address this whatsoever. You're being dumb with your feelings.
Like
Bye.
he's got emotional problems.
Yeah.
Like he's grown up with
Yeah.
emotional baggage. We're
Yeah.
not going to talk to him.
Just another dumb grown up with their feelings. Let's go play Minecraft.
It's
Yep.
nuts.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
because we were watching adult movies as children, I think. I really do. I think it's because I was watching, Dirty Dancing and
Oh,
Mannequin.
yeah. You know, those were some of the best. Like, I remember you probably did the same thing. Like, I don't know if it
Howard
was
the
the same thing.
Duck.
Oh, Howard the Duck with his goddamn teeth.
Howard the Duck didn't have any teeth.
He had teeth. You Google
He
that.
did not.
He did. He had human freaking teeth. You Google
Howard
that.
the Duck
Howard
in
the
his
Duck.
beak.
Howard the Duck had human freaking teeth in his beak. You Google that. It's terrifying. I love the movie.
Okay.
But yeah,
Maybe
it was,
in a shot or something.
No.
But not.
No, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna make you watch it.
You can pull it up right here. You could screen share it, Ho. Oh no, we can't. We'll get whacked.
Oh, yeah, we'll
Vera
get
said yes, he
copyrighted.
did.
Yeah, he had teeth.
You
But
could
no,
pull up a picture.
there was all sorts of movies on like on Saturdays and Sundays. It was like my favorite thing. Like you had like a few channels. Like sometimes you'd have it on
USA Up All Night with Rhonda Shear.
Yep. And then you'd have TNT would have some good movies sometimes, and then Fox Saturday afternoon would have good movies. Like you'd have like Short Circuit or like Indiana
They love
Jones
that
or
movie.
something. Yeah, I mean those are like they're awesome
You've had
movies.
feelings.
And,
You had
and
feelings. You
well,
cared about a robot.
that's the freaking thing, because they're like, oh, we don't care about his feelings, and then later they're like, he has feelings. Oh, we have feelings now too, and it's like the whole movie was like thinking about feelings and who has feelings. It's like that's the kind of crap that we got drilled into our heads because we watched the movies.
Mm-hmm. Or talking cars. Herbie
Yep.
the Love Bug. A
Oh
damn
God.
car with feelings.
Yep. There was
Was
so
my
many
favorite movie.
sentient cars. Yeah, you had Herbie the Love Bug. You had
Knight Rider.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah, there was a bunch of them. Yeah, those are good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
We had some crazy shit that we. I mean, and two, like, who in the 80s, when VHS first started coming out, like, they weren't paying attention to what we were watching. Like,
No.
ratings didn't matter. And I think
everything had everyone was smoking in every movie constantly and drinking.
But I feel like you know what I mean. Like I remember going to my friend's house and like at the beginning of Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
My friend Missy's mom, she would make the kids all close their eyes for the tadpole scene with the egg. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
She'd have them close their, and I'm like, I don't like. What was the big deal? You know what I mean? My mother just.
Yeah.
It was nothing was a big deal. A sex scene wasn't a big deal. So all of those things.
Yeah.
Were just. It was fine. You know what I mean? Like nothing was ever made to be uncomfortable in my house with a movie. You know what I mean? Like every Sunday we'd go to grandma's for pizza. We had the family movie night. And whatever was the latest fic. Because somebody in my family may or may not have had a video store, and there may or may not have been videos before they came out, allegedly. So you'd get the things early, to check to see if you want to have them at your video store.
Oh yeah, where they have like every once in a while there'd be a banner that popped up that said like this is a courtesy preview of blah blah blah.
Yeah, so you'd watch that or whatever, So you'd watch, it'd be all of us, the kids or whatever, and I would see it. And you know what I mean? So Lethal Weapon was one of my favorite movies as a kid. Mm-hmm. But what if a child understands that that's a movie, it's pretend, it's you know what I mean? Like what? I don't understand. I don't know. Yeah. I did go to like watch it with the kids, thinking, "Oh, boys would probably love this. It's all action packed." And then there was like tits all over it, and I was like, "Oh, maybe not, maybe not."
I forgot. I watched. You remember Beastmaster? Remember the Beastmaster where he was like kind of like a Conan guy, and he had like all these animals.
It was like He-Man, and on the cover, right?
Right,
the sword on the front.
So I found that on Hulu, and I made the kids watch that. I forgot there was like this like waterfall maiden scene where it was like a solid 5 minutes of topless women just playing in a waterfall, and I'm like,
it's just breasts.
Yeah, it was just boobs, but I'm like, well, there's your boobs, guys. I forgot. I didn't know.
Right, but the thing is if we make it awkward or we try to cover it up, it then becomes something that's not okay.
Right,
and it's to me, it's like, why are we making that not okay? Right? It's a woman's breast. It's, to me, I just can't. I can't. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, in the inside, I'm like, oh God, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to see it. But at the same time, I'm like, you are not going to make a big deal of this. Nobody made a big deal about it when you were a child. You are going to shut up, stop, do not hit the pause button.
Yeah.
I struggle with it. I there was something, whatever, and the guy was like, he said jerking off, and I'm like, oh God, right? And the one's 11, so I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna throw up. I'm not ready for this. I can't. Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm not. But I'm like, I'm not gonna. I mean, like, thank God he's like 11, but he's really, he's going on 7. Mm-hmm. So I got a few more years, but.
Do you? I was like 8 when I figured that out.
I was, yeah. I don't get it. When I talk to people and they're like, oh, like 12, 14, 13, I'm like, what?
I must have been a prodigy. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I was the kid in preschool. They're like, Jeffrey, you can't do that in the living room. My father always thought, that he loved to embarrass me in front of like my friends or whatever. He'd be like, "Oh, you're cuffing your carrot." I'm like,
Oh yeah.
"Really?" Like, you know what I mean? What father does that? Like, when you tormenting your kid, whatever. Fuck off.
Yeah. No, that was yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know. That's another thing that makes me feel like a failure. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, when you think like you've come up with something that your kids are really gonna enjoy, be like, oh, this is a great movie. I remember this movie, or like, I'm gonna take the kids to this place where I really like doing this when I was a kid. And then you take them there and you start like trying to relive it with them, and they're just like, this is bullshit. Like, I hate this. When can I go home? Like,
I tried getting Gabe to watch the Muppet movie, and I said, "Gabe, this was
yeah,
Daddy's favorite movie as a kid." He goes, "Well, it's not mine."
right. Mm-mm.
It's like,
Pee
"You
Wee's
little
Big
bastard."
Adventure. They hated that one.
Good on them.
Well, I mean, I liked it. I thought his bike was awesome. And what else? Um, I don't know. Like,
They liked
take.
the Goonies.
Oh, my kids like Goonies. I'll give them that. They did like Goonies. One-Eyed Willie and such. But like going places like it just like being outside. Like I remember as being like as a kid, like I thought like the stupidest stuff was entertaining. Like I would have my little GI Joes, and I would bring them to like a dirt pile somewhere, and then
Hmm.
that was like a mountain, and they're climbing up this mountain, and then you could take these dirt clods and kind of throw them out in the yard. And when they hit, they make a little puff of smoke, and you can pretend like it was a bomb, and you're like, oh no, they're bombing us,
Oh,
and
and then
like,
you had a
yeah,
Matchbox
yep,
cars or
yep.
whatever kind of car. Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
like I try to like play with my kids like that way, and they're just like, this is Dad, you're insane. Like what
Right.
what what are you doing? I'm like,
These guys ask
us
for like
playing.
massive amounts of toys. They sit in
Yeah.
bins and they don't touch
Oh
them.
no, they never play with them. I'll take. You know what
But
I
they
do?
won't. They don't want to get rid of them either. And I'm like,
Right,
nothing else is coming in.
right.
I don't care. Christmas, everything you ask for, you have to get rid
Yep.
of the amount of stuff that comes in this house.
So what you got to
I'm
do?
done.
One of the things that I found that works really good is when they're not paying attention, just throw a bunch of that
Oh,
stuff
I
into
do.
a big Tupperware bin, and then just put it away for like 2 or 3 months, and then just pull it out again and be like, "Hey, look what I found!" And all of a sudden, it's brand new again, and they just start playing with it out of nowhere.
Yeah, I used to do that with the daycare kids all the time because I had so much crap.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It,
The
it
make
was
it
always
new again
nice.
bin.
It always bought you a few days of
Hmm.
peace.
Let's see. What else do we fail at? Like, what kind of stuff? What kind of failure stuff can we think about now? Um, what about like let's see, we fail at like where we wanted to be at this point in our lives. That's a good one. How do we deal with that failure? Just like, no, that's fine. We fail at failing at work or financial goals.
Oh,
Um,
Sparta. You think?
Failing at our own personal health and well-being, like failing at taking care of ourselves at our ripe old age of
Oh, you
middle-agedness.
mean like I'm on the Christy Alley thing and I'm back on the fat train? Yeah,
Yep,
I
yep.
definitely didn't think I'd do that.
We're failing at our health. We're failing at money. We're
Yeah, that's
failing at
fun.
progress. What else can we fail at?
Hmm.
We can fail at. Ooh, here's a great one, and this one I probably spend way too much time thinking about. That it
Oh,
does.
we have a troll.
Oh, do we?
Oh my God, we didn't fail at that. I'm so excited. Oh, thank you. You just made my whole night.
There's
I
one.
love it, Dana. We made
Yeah,
it.
we did. We got trolled.
I thought it was the nurse at first, but it's clearly
No,
not.
that's cool.
No,
Well,
I thought it was our buddy.
we got in there. That's cool.
I love it when we get a troll. We haven't had one in a minute.
Mm-mm.
Yay, bring your friends.
I'm
Come
excited
on.
about it. Let's see, what else do we fail at? I failed at failing at simple interpersonal greetings, like when a human walks past me in the morning and they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" and I'm just like, "Hi," or they say hi and I say, "Good," And then the rest of
Yeah.
the day, that haunts me because I failed at being able to speak English properly. Like, I'm just like, how you doing? Hi. And then for the rest of my day, I'm like, I'm the hi guy. I don't know how to talk to a human. Wonderful. Like, do you ever do stuff like that? Like when somebody like, oh,
Yes.
here's my favorite one. They're like, you go to pick up your food, like your takeout, and they're like, have a good dinner, and you're like, you too. They're not gonna have a good dinner. They're working.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not
Uh,
gonna.
did you not see the Goof trailer we did for Guilty Pleasures? And it was like the intros or whatever, and Dakota kept screwing them up, and then she's like, "Steve's filling in for Madison tonight. Welcome," and he's like, "Welcome," and I'm just like,
Yay!
no, we're gonna like we just oh my god, it's a train wreck. It's an absolute yeah. So no, I definitely do that. I'm the king of awkward interactions. Really good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. So failing at interpersonal communication. That's a good one.
Hmm.
What about just like physical tasks? Like, how do you feel like when you go to cook something and it just turns out like trash, or like you just you try to go out to the something broke in the house and you're trying to fix it and you just colossally mess it up worse and it's just like nope, I could not have handled that, I guess. And like
You're so funny.
how do you deal with those little failures?
Um, well, from the jump, I pick up the phone.
Hmm.
I don't. I don't. I don't deal with that stuff. I'm no. You know, I always had that thing. I learned early
No,
on,
but
like I could change my brakes, but I learned if I played dumb, a straight guy would do
oh,
it for me.
weaponized incompetence. That's a nice toxic trait.
Hmm.
I try to avoid
Hmm.
that one, but I've encountered it many times. My
Dana, I gotta
my
tell you, think about this. For years, I could play the dumb blonde super easy. I'm really good at it.
it's so manipulative, but it works. And
It really does, and it's fun. It's just fun to be. It's fun to do it.
you've got my kids are like so good at it. They're probably the masters of weaponized incompetence. Like they will take something so simple like sweeping and turn it into
Oh,
like my arms are noodles. I don't know how you do this. Why? And they will they will turn sweeping a 10 by 10 room into a 2 hour standing there crying nightmare. And I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, I don't know how you
three
have the energy to put this much
hours.
attention into this.
3 hours to unload a dishwasher.
Oh, good.
That's not even full.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Yeah, isn't that grand? How?
Three.
I don't know.
Yeah. I we should get into that next week. Let's do that next week. Weaponize incompetence. I'm really good at that though.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, you basically turn you take something and be like, oh well, if I just am not good at it, then I won't have to do it. Instead of like, maybe I could get good at that, and then I can just do it myself. Nah. Yeah, it sucks.
Why in God's name do I need to change a pair of brakes?
Well, I don't know. Well,
No.
because I could do it. I did it.
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I love you
Yeah, but
for it.
no.
I will do I will do other things for you that you can't do for yourself.
Not anymore. I can't bend that way anymore.
Oh. Oh, will we talk about that off air? I want to hear that
No,
story.
everybody's bendy when they're like 17.
I, yeah, I have some video.
Long story
footage.
short, it's just not worth it. It's hard to breathe. And so there you go.
Hmm. I've got the video footage.
Yeah. I think we were supposed to only do a half an hour show, and then we did an hour show. That was a good one. We just had,
Yeah.
we kept
Here we are.
rolling there.
And we got a
Do you know
troll.
what my favorite part about our troll is? Like let's put this one up. A troll that wanted to heckle us about liking a Lord of the Rings sequel. He just heckled himself right here, I'm pretty sure. Look at this. Like
His name's Sparta.
no one cares about Lord of the Rings. No one does.
And his name is Sparta 300.
Yeah. He's a warrior on the internet.
Sparta!
That's cool. We had a good time with that though.
Mm.
He's angry.
Itty bitty penis.
You know, they say that's people that troll on the internet. They have they're most likely they had a really hard childhood and it manifested into one of 3 really toxic personality traits. They could either be a covert narcissist or an introverted narcissist. Another one is they could be a sociopath. Another one is they could be a psychopath, and you're almost guaranteed not like a clinical diagnosis of having that personality disorder, but having a lot of those traits, and they express themselves through trolling on the internet. It's interesting.
Just a little bit. All right. Well, tomorrow we're doing a roundtable discussion live. Miss Katrina A. Johnson will be joining us. It'll be Steve, I think myself, Dakota. I think that Katie McCarthy bitch is going to be on with us. It's going to be, kind of like what we do here.
Katie,
it's going to be serious.
You got her all feisty. I heard the other day. Is she mad at you right now? Or are you mad at her?
I don't know. I'm not.
Oh, okay. Oh no.
Oh, I can't wait to get the scoop.
I don't know what it was.
And then
I might just you know what? I may just be accidentally through ignorance stirring a pot without knowing it because I just...
Oh no, I'll tell you.
Okay.
In just a second.
Okay.
What I know. Okay, and then Wednesday we've got T. Chantel for you from TikTok. She's on Guilty Pleasures, filling in this week with Katrina A. Johnson from Nickelodeon's All That.
Oh, is that the lady that I drew a picture of?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And Dana, you're gonna want to catch that show.
Okay.
She's off the fucking wall.
Oh, she's spicy.
It was hard to do it with a straight face. Out of control. I don't even know how. I've got to finish editing it still, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So crazy. And then Thursday's the live show.
Excellent.
And yep. And that's it. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye. We're gonna end the broadcast, and then we're gonna sit here and wait for it to end.